Okay, so here we are entering the third turn of Warrior Knights. Set up the decks, everybody put their actions in. I noticed one thing, I definitely cheated in the first turn and maybe in some of the others. The versatile action allows you to move or attack, not do both. So those people who played them and then started sieges or whatever, you couldn't do that. It's definitely a diminished card for every single action that it allows, but it does allow you to take actions that maybe you can't take because your cards are piled up, or the flexibility when you don't know what you really want to do. Alright, so everybody set things up. Let's see what we start off with. Black is going to try to draft soldiers, and they get a mercenary counter for free over here. And we're getting pretty close to that. Let's see. Serve the church. That's purple. Purple has a lot of counters here. But they can't force that this way. The only way to force that is to actually pull the extra mercenaries up. Where do they want to put this counter? That's the question. Anyway, as I decide that 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, purple doesn't have a lot on there. They're going to put it here. As I continue on, there's no reason to be on video for all of it, so I'll step away. Okay, so turning up the next card here, we got an important event. Head of church gets to choose someone to resolve. And this is the first time out of these that we've had the head of the church sitting on an option to take the card. I think they're going to do it. This is a good card. I don't particularly want to give that to anyone. Let's see what they get. An assassin. One noble of your choice must immediately take 100 casualties. Yeah, that wasn't terribly exciting. Alright, well, red probably wants to hit blue. We'll hit the blue square. Definitely was not worth spending something for. Next one coming up is going to be another draft. That's going to fill off and trigger the draft. So let's take care of it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Black plays here. Now, let's look at what we got. Blue's got 2. And do we have any? We have poles, a pair of them. Isn't bad. It's probably about what he'd get, though. This. These can be placed in a friendly city. This is kind of a risk. I didn't see that. He'll just buy one. Some Romanians. And put them with his circle dude. That costs him $3 in gold to buy. Gets red the next option. Red only has one. He's going to want to put it in his castle, which is where he is anyway. And he'll take as big as he can, which will be, let's take these Lombards. That'll cost 3. There's a lot of money in the game right now, so spending doesn't seem unwise. Purple's got 2 in a row. He also has a pile of money. Doesn't really need a lot of troops. Triangle guy has 200. That's not enough to take out what he wants to. So 350, 450. That'll give him more than any of those overseas kingdoms. And since he's admiral, he's going to be paying 5. I don't have enough hands to hold this. He'll pay $5 on that. And that ups him significantly. He can start building or capturing territories overseas. Blue gets another one at 50. What do we want for that? I don't know. Well, I'll parse the rest of them out and pay them, and then deal out a new hand. I don't see troubling you with my analysis paralysis while holding a camera. Well, yellow used a mobilize action, which allows them to move any of their nobles into an area and start a battle. It's going to activate both their people, but they cause an extra 100 in casualties in their battle. They're fighting black, who actually should have another card. They don't have. There. I forgot about the fortifications. It was an even fight before that, even with the Lord Commander. They also inflict an extra 100 casualties. Both players have discarded their cards they want to discard. Let's see what we've got here. Yellow has 3-4 victories and a couple of fate cards. Let's see what those do. Another victory. Looks good for them. And some casualties. So they're going to be dealing 300. On the other hand, you got prevent a couple hundred. Prevent 300. Nothing's happening there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that looks pretty good too. And another victory for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Neither side's going to win by victory. Let's look at what casualties are. These guys produced 100, which I'll drop over on this guy. And these guys produced 1, 2, 300 for their bonus, which is canceled out by the 3 preventions. Nothing happened. Big bloody battle. No real effect though. All right, well, they have to decide whether we're going to put this either wages or assembly. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. They'll put it in wages. They're more likely to get it back quickly then. All those cards go onto the deck. And I don't know what next. Well, one of the unaligned cards, upgrade defenses, came up. Everybody built fortifications except yellow. They repaired their damaged city, and red did nothing. It's kind of a question there. Is it worth it? Like, for example, yellow repairing this city means they might be abandoned by these black pieces and see their city knocked out anyway. So did they really want to spend money on that? Hard call there always. Red had nothing to spend, but everyone else pretty much wanted to do the fortifications they were doing. Some more counters have gone out for assembly markers and votes, and then a green counter came up for draft soldiers. They've got another one up there to build more troops, and that's enough to throw the wages into effect. Let's see if everybody can afford. There should be enough money, but it's hard to tell because some of the people like black and yellow have been building, don't have as much as some of the other players. We'll see. Well, yellow and black both did have a shortfall and ended up having to lose a trip each. And purple also, even though they had a lot of money, ended up having to pay 13 when they had 12, so they had to discard a 50-point unit mercenary as well. Let's see what the next card is. Yeah, more drafting happening here, huh? Yeah, we've had a little bit more collection of rewards, whatever, mainly going for the taxation ability, yellow, black, just collecting a couple bucks to try to help push their way through. I also saw the switch in the church over here into purple's hands, and when they did that, they're triggering off a phase for the assembly. And at this point we have three different three different things up here. The hereditary offices, the Marshal of the Realm, which is definitely a bonus, and the encouragement of overseas exploration or expansion, which purple is very much into because they want to push forward there. So they may actually vote more heavily on that than anybody's going to vote against. Marshal of the Realm, a lot of people are interested in it. There are a couple of people with good votes, 7 votes over here for red. They could probably just take it. I mean, they could just take it for that. But if they don't bid that, there's 6 for black. Yellow's holding the hammer right now, so they get the tiebreakers in any case. And so red might at least say, you know, black isn't going to get it if somebody's tied with them. All right, well, I'll figure out what order I want to do these in and run them through them and let you know what happened. Well, red won the Marshal of the Realm. He spent all 7 tokens for it. Blue spent 3. Black went with his 6. Surprisingly, purple jumped in with his 4. I don't know what he was thinking, but he spent the tokens he wanted to use to get that bonus. Ended up the other 2 measures, hereditary offices, everybody with offices spent all their bids basically, and the overseas expansion both went down in failure. So now we have new ones. Master of the Revels. At the end of each round, you must pay 5 crowns to gain 1 influence or give this card to another baron, and that baron won't have to pay until the next round. That's an interesting option. That's a charge as opposed to an option, as opposed to an office. Master of the Royal Stables, while not overseas, can move 2 areas or 4 on a road. That's pretty cool, actually. And Master Ranger, this is another charge. Once per game round, when one of your action cards is drawn, you may replace it with any other in your hand. Only carry out the new action. That's kind of interesting, too. All right, well, on to the... Ooh, I gotta deal these guys out, and then I'll draw the next card. Decided to start buzzing through a little faster. The church got to pick a good event again. Took one, it was a forced march. He sailed to Jerusalem with his admiral, but it doesn't really help because he can't launch an attack on that. Red went and took Stavron, and black went and took Getz back, hoping that they can get the first move on yellow later. Both sides are exhausted right now. It was just easier. There's very little gain to knocking this thing out while these troops are here. If he can wipe the troops out, then maybe he can convince yellow to be somewhere else. There are better places for yellow to be, like back here and dealing in this direction. Right now, though, it's a tough sell. Maybe they can come to some sort of agreement where yellow just leaves and they cut a deal and black moves this way. Because right now they're not getting any real advantage off of being together. We see some more mercenaries down, some more cards being developed. On to the third play. After a few more actions, we see blue had to move into Frawley. Well, they had the option to, in order to prevent green from maybe advancing on them and taking the city and taking out their noble, etc., by combining 2 forces. Well, they took that option, and then green got the option, having seen that blue's already used one of their leaders. They moved into Balin and took that. Now, if they were reasonable people, they would agree that blue could take Isar, and blue and green would leave each other alone. Most people aren't reasonable, though. Deals like that I found hard in this game for whatever reason, just because of the territorial nature. Somehow it's a lot easier in diplomacy to come to an agreement along a reasonable line that's to both players' benefit than in something like this, for whatever reason. I really don't know. All right, well, we'll keep pushing forward. And we're done again. Not a lot happened. Purple laid sieges to both these. They got a couple of movement cards. I don't remember what they're called. Mobilized forces. It doesn't really feel like you're mobilizing. You're actually attacking with those cards. Okay, at this point in the upkeep phase, nobody's won. However, influence is to be gained. Blue is going to be getting 2. And I got a 5. That can't be. I had all the 5s in there. Okay, so they'll get 2 of these. Red is also getting 2. They have 1, so they can get a change. Yellow gets nothing this turn. Black gets 2. Purple gets 2. And we'll need another exchange. And it looks like green actually gets 3 this turn. So that puts green, I think, in the lead at 5. But it's all still pretty close, except for poor hapless yellow. Revolts. We got some cities that are open right now. Start with yellow and work our way my special kind of clockwise. That's not clockwise at all. Black is the first one. Yellow doesn't have any. And that's going to revolt. Now here's his question. He can either pay a faith or what, twice what it makes? I gotta look this up because that's not covered in the little. There aren't a lot of player aids in this that are useful. Maybe it's towards the beginning. Maybe not. You never know because the rules. Okay. Revolts twice the city's income. Well, it seems to me that a faith is a lot cheaper at this point. And they probably couldn't really afford. The income would have been 6. They don't have that. Over to purple. Purple's left 2 cities open. Let's go to Rockzook first. There's no revolt there. And then their other one, Brenak, which does revolt. They would hold 4, but they're going to pay a faith for that. Money's just too important. Blue's got Alpha Muffle, whatever, and they're fine. Red's got Senlek, which revolts. That would cost $4. I'm going to again throw a faith. The Fate deck, speaking of which, got reshuffled due to an event. And now, I think we're at the end of the turn. Gotta make sure. Nobles get refreshed, added to the board. Red probably is going to add someone. They need the extra board presence as they're starting to get it close to other people and to garrison their cities. So I'll take care of that and come back if anything's exciting. Otherwise, just load this.